What's up, everybody? So, this has been a pretty uneventful morning. It's 7:20 now. I've been out here since 5:30. This is my third drift in the west end. The east wind's blowing pretty good. It's not horrible, but she's rocking and rolling. I haven't done squat. I've had pretty good picture all three drifts. And up until the last cast just now, all I had to show for it was one sheep's head poked right underneath the chin. So I'm like, well, 7:15, I'll call it a day. And I said, okay, last cast. Don Birdie and I used to do this all the time. And lo and behold, boom, halfway back, crack. I went to boat flip it or I'd show it to you. It was a keeper, 15, 16 inches, maybe 16 and a half. But it's just funny how sometimes you call it whatever you want. Manifesting, think about, comes about, whatever, I don't know. But I said to myself, I can't believe I've fished for 2 hours and only had a sheep's head. And that wasn't even a bite. I lifted up, he was there, he must have been looking at it. And then I say, okay, well, I've come to the end of my rope. We're going to do one last cast, and boom. So then, of course, I'm like, well, if I caught one on my last cast, then I got to make another cast. So then I just said to myself, well, I hooked up the phone, and now I'm going to talk to you guys for a minute, so I might as well make another cast. And next thing you know, I'm going to be out here for 15 more minutes, which, is okay. I've got time. The job I'm on, I can't start till a little later in the morning. The lady of the house works nights, so she's not up yet. Which is okay with me. I like my mornings and not to feel like I'm constantly under the gun for time, but just funny sometimes how things work out. So now you guys get to come along. This will be my last cast if we don't do anything. I think, I don't know. I never want to go in, but on the same hand, I sometimes feel like I'm beating a dead horse. And so then I don't really feel like staying out here just to stay out here. And a lot of times too, I'll be honest with you, your own mental confidence, so let's go on the what you think about comes about theory. And let's pertain it to fishing, okay? You have those days where you get up and you come out and you're like, I don't know. This isn't right, that's not right. I'm a little undecided on what to do, blah, 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 blah. And you let all that chirp around in your head a little bit, but you believe it. So if you believe you're going to come out and struggle, I got up this morning at a little after 4 and I looked out the window and my flag is right there, and it's not completely straight out, but it's out and it's coming from the east, and I'm like, oh great. We had 3 days of huge east wind last week, then it laid down for a couple days, and now it's back. And like right off the bat, I'm letting that seep into my brain, I get out here and I'm like, I'm a little undecided on what to do or where to go or what I want to do. It's hard to pick apart a spot, on spot lock or on the trolling motor in these big waves. And then, it hasn't been windy in 3 days. And so now you got to figure out, where did those fish go and set up? And do you play the win factor solely? Whatever. There's 1,000 things that can enter your mind. How many people don't like Mondays because you wake up Monday morning and you go, oh man, it's Monday, I hate Mondays. Well, next thing you know, Monday turns into your worst day of the week because you've already told yourself it's going to be. And you believe it, so then it's comes to pass. It's funny how we'll believe negative far easier than we do positive. Like something good and positive is impossible to happen. And it's just hard to believe that would be the case. And so then it doesn't happen because you don't believe that it's going to. Conversely, there are days where you come out and you're like, man, I just feel lucky, I feel fishy, I'm confident in what I'm going to go do, for whatever the factors are that lead to that. And some people, I'll be honest with you, some people have that innate ability that's just their mindset all the time. And those people, whether it's fishing or life or business, those people are successful far more often than not because they just believe that they're going to be. They don't let any other thought process enter their mind. I'm going to go out and do this in this spot at this time, and this is going to be the result, and it's going to be great. And lo and behold, it comes to pass because they said it, they believed it, and they go put it into action. And their action and their ability makes everything coalesce and come together. It's never lost on me sometimes the mental game when it comes to anything. And again, it's not just fishing. Sports, life, relationships, what you believe, what you tell yourself in your head, and then what you believe happens. If you don't believe something's going to happen, it won't. If you believe something's going to happen, it will. And there's no filter on whether you believe the good or the bad. That's your decision. Weather is a factor, out here for me this morning. I'm like, I don't feel like getting bounced around, so I'll go and drift and jig. And I wasn't really sure where to go. I stopped when I got out here, and I drove around for about 15 minutes. But I never really found a great picture. And I settled on a spot based on the history of it. It's been good before. I'll just stop here. This is as good as any place. Sometimes that works out. Sometimes the fish are all over the place. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes you feel like a nut, and sometimes you don't. We don't necessarily think about how we think all the time. And then that's a lesson for all of us in everything we do. I try my damnedest to only think of positive things and the positive outcome that may come from them. But I'm human. That doesn't always work. It doesn't always happen. And I can't always will it into existence. Sometimes I fight myself in my own head, and you get what you believe, So it's still nice to be out here. And I don't pick the weather. I just pick when I get to go fishing, and when I can go, I go. And come what may, whether they bite, whether they don't, whether I get bounced around or not, is what it is. I can't keep in the frame because I'm going like this now. All right. Have a great Thursday. I'll be back out here tomorrow morning. It's Friday tomorrow. Have a good one. Stay dry. Keep your tip up.